Class.
Good morning.
Okay, so I know that you guys noticed that I was passing out note cards as you guys came into the classroom. So I'll just look on the back of your cards in the upper left-hand corner and find the person with the same shape as you. Awesome. So this is a poem that we're going to read, and we are going to be annotating it for meaning. So first let's read it together. How poetry comes to me. It comes blundering over the boulders at night. It stays frightened outside the range of my campfire. I go to meet it at the edge of the light. This is a poem by the poet Gary Snyder. And so we're just going to annotate this and try to see what does this mean. So to do that, we are going to be using a tip cast. Does anybody maybe know what that might mean? No. Okay. So first we start with the T, which is the title. So for that, you are going to consider the title and make a prediction about what the poem is about. And then we will move on to the P, and that's paraphrasing. So you're going to translate the poem line by line into your own words, what it literally says on the page. Next, connotation. That means, does anybody know what connotation means? Take a moment to think about it.
It's like a hidden
like the
meaning
the
behind it.
annotation is like an actual definition of actual word. Connotation is like what you can. It's like
Like the meaning behind it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's the meaning behind the words that are actually on the page. So for C, we are going to look for the connotation of the poem, and that just means you're going to examine it closely and say, what is Gary Snyder really trying to say? The A stands for the attitude or the tone of the poem. So you're just going to notice, what kind of an attitude is he taking about this poem? And the S is for shifts. You're going to write down any shifts that you notice in the poem, like how does the attitude change? And then T is for title. So you're going to once again look at the title, but this time on the interpretive level, after you have thought about, okay, he has this written on the page literally, but when you look at it deeper, it means this. So think about why he chose that title. And then the last T is for theme. You are going to briefly describe in your own words what you think the theme might be. So go ahead and take 5 minutes with your partners and think about the theme, or try to fill these out, the tip cast. And you can just write it on the back of your note card, or if you want, you can use a separate sheet of paper.
To me. I feel like he's trying to say that
Personified poetry.
that basically
Actually, here.
yeah. So
How someone understands poetry?
how he feels
How someone
when he hears or
understands
how
poetry?
he reads poetry. He feels about it.
I see what you. It's almost the same this phrase
So we're gonna
is almost
translate the poem to
like how it comes to understanding or how it can actually
Okay.
become.
Now that you guys have had time to talk about the poem, does anybody want to tell me anything that their groups talked about? Sierra?
Hi. Yeah. So we discussed that basically it's his interpretation of how he perceives a poem, either when he's reading it or expressing it to someone else. We first started off with the title and that beginning of the cast. And so that's how we initially came to our assumption from the first line of the title. And after we went through the stages of the tip cast on each line, and then we revisited the title again, and then we got this certain type of theme of that, like, you know, even though a poem might be sometimes confusing at first, that basically you can, if you reread it over again, you can kind of like pick up what the meaning is if you just like revisit it.
Okay, so perfect. So it seems like you guys understood how to use the tip cast. And something that I use to help me remember what the tip cast is and how I can use it, I think about like it's a TP and you cast it into the middle of a poem. So how a TP kind of looks like that. And you just cast it in the middle of the poem and you annotate it and you can get deeper meaning from it. So go on, say it with me. It's a TP and you